Hi everyone, it's Autumn, your writing mentor, and I'm here to go over using the advanced search functions in the ASU Library search databases that I talked about in an earlier announcement this week. All right, so I'm at the ASU Library's homepage, so whether you can access it through your My ASU shortcuts or just doing a Google search, this is going to be what your homepage looks like. Make sure that you're signed in under your My ASU account sometimes, even though if you're signed into Canvas and every other My ASU platform that you have, it doesn't automatically transfer over to the library. So that'll be important so that you can access everything the library has to offer, as well as if you find stuff that you want to save. Okay, yeah, and you can see here it's giving me the logged in message. Okay. So starting right off over here, you can see the drop-down menu. You can choose one search. Open access is really great. That means that as long as ASU has access to it, or the whatever their publishing rules are, they're more open. You don't have to be part of a larger paid body to have access to it. I always just default to doing everything open access so I don't get stuck finding something really great that I can't get past a paywall to access. So that's one way that we could start narrowing this process down. All right, so plugging in our keywords, and I'm going to go with a topic that I saw in the discussion board this week that also some of you are having a little bit of a challenge finding reputable secondary sources on, and I just think it's an interesting topic, so I'll do that as the first example here. Okay, start with humane, stray cat solutions. So don't want just any stray cat solutions. I want them to be humane, and that's about as specific as I'm going to go right now. Go ahead with the search. This is where it can get fun. All right, so you can see we've got 1 through 7, not too many results here. That's okay. And right here, you can see the ones that come up. They're all articles. But over here, where we have all this information down the side, is where I want to focus on right now. These are my active search filters, and right now all I have is open access. But here, if I want to expand my results, because as you saw, I only got 7, like that. And here we can see we have more options to work with. So full text online, that's really helpful. Sometimes I usually see this more with older sources. You'll just have like a scanned in abstract or part of a book, which isn't really all that helpful most of the time. So that's a good filter to check. Now this one I recommend checking every time just as much as I recommend checking the open access one, peer-reviewed journals. That is one sure, quick way to narrow down your search results to have credible, reputable material showing up. If it came from a peer-reviewed journal, that means it's been through a strict review process before it could be published. Less chance for having those biases that will have a negative impact. They're going to slant things in a way that's avoiding the facts or being too heavily opinionated. So peer-reviewed journals are always the way to go. And resource type, not too many to choose from here. This is a more specific topic, but articles, again, are going to be your best option. I know some of you want to use podcasts and videos, so I'll go over that in the next example. We'll do something a bit broader that will give more to work with here. But articles are usually going to be your best bet. They're going to be a lot shorter than a book. Books are great, but a lot of times you're not going to have the time to read a whole book or even part of one for a research project and the time frame that you're working with in this course. So articles are going to be your best bet. You can go down here, search by subjects. So if we want to just pull in anything related to cats or science and technology. You can also reach out to external searches, WorldCat, Google Scholar, and you can click here if you want to show even more filters. So if you want to filter by specific languages, provider, so these are your bigger publishers, like here we go, EBSCO, that's one of the ones on the main page you can choose from. Scopus, yeah, so those bigger publishing bodies that hold the smaller resources that you'll be using, like an article. All right, so with our filter set, we can now start looking at what they pulled up. And you can see here it's peer-reviewed, open access, the full text is available, view PDF. Let's see here, which one? All right, so it looks like this one. Oh, and you can see here we have a reply to someone in an article on a bigger topic. Here we go. This is a good one. Implementing non-lethal solutions for free-roaming cat management in a county in the southeastern United States. Peer-reviewed, open access, and we'll go ahead and click on it. Take a closer look. You can see where it's available online from. These bigger publishing bodies, PubMed, Directory of Open Access Journals, details. Right away, you can see the author, all the subjects it falls under, and description is going to be like your abstract, synopsis, or summary that you can read through this before you go reading through the entire article or trying to scan through the article to determine if it's even going to be helpful for you. Sometimes the titles sound great, the filters make it look great, then you get into it and realize it has nothing to do with what you really wanted. We hate when that happens, but it happens more than we'd like. You can see citing the source or who else has cited the source. For here, you can choose to email it to yourself. You can print. I'm not connected to a printer, so that's, get out of that. Okay, here we go. And here is where you can go to find your citation. Now, before we get too excited with this, it is a great help, but you're always going to want to double check to make sure that it is up to date with the most recent guidelines for your style, since we're using APA in this class. I'm going to go over here on the left, choose APA 7th edition. That is our most recent. And for the most part, we're looking pretty good, except, okay, so we have the last name here, but APA says we should have the initials for first and middle name if they provide it. So you would need to open up the source and find out what those letters would be if you were going to use it. Let's see, another thing that needs to be fixed in this citation is the way that the titles are capitalized. So in APA, we only want the first word of the title capitalized. And then if anything else in it will be capitalized, it's just going to be our proper nouns, like Southeastern United States. So the rest of these words here should all be in lowercase. See, this is in italics like it should be for the bigger journal. A volume number in italics. Okay, we have our page numbers. Okay, and I'm seeing that. Okay, that would be something you need to check out too. The page numbers are looking a little funky, 259 through 259. Let's go to our PDF. It'll take a second for it to download. There it goes. Okay, and here we go. So we got our page number there. And I'm going to scroll all the way down here to the very bitter end, 1 through 10. Okay. So sometimes as things go from PDF to hard copy, page numbers can get a little mixed up. That's why you always want to double check these things. So yes, it's great. This helps a lot to cut down on time and searching for these elements, but you're always going to want to pull up something like Purdue OWL that explains how each citation should work, and check the ones that are provided to make sure that they are accurate. All right, close that. You could also, if there's like an issue, maybe like the link to the PDF is broken or something like that, you can report a problem. And then this here, you can click this pin, and that will pin that item to, let me get out of here. Okay, over here to your favorites, and you can go looking through that later. Like, so maybe the first time you go through your search results, you just want to scan some abstracts, scan some filters, and see if any of these things are going to be a possibility. Pull those to your favorites, and then go through your favorites and narrow it down even further from there. Okay, I'm going to go back in here because I also want to touch on over here on this side related reading, they will pull up recommendations for articles based on the one that you pulled over here. So sometimes they're helpful, sometimes they're too broad. Horses infected by pyroplasms, etc. Over here, that's not at all going to be helpful for free-roaming cat management solutions. But it's pulling in other things based in veterinary medicine. So sometimes you will get something helpful over here. At least look here, we're getting something related to cats, but this is a more specific topic, so in this case I'm not seeing anything worth examining over here, but that's okay. Okay. So now, just to be able to go through more of the options you have for more in-depth searches here, I'm going to reset my filters, and I'm going to do a different search.